You're listening to Three's A Crowd, the North East Footy podcast, with Rye for Boro, Steve for Newcastle United, and Ted for Sunderland.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. I am the new guy. My name's Rye. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on Three's A Crowd pod. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just excited to be here. I'm back, baby. I'm back. I do apologize for missing out to you Boro fans. You other two fans, you're doing all right in the Premier League, so you probably didn't miss me. But the Boro fans, we're back, baby. We're back. We got so much to talk about, so much to catch up on. But I hope you're fantastic, safe and well out in this beautiful big world of ours. Make sure you consider liking the stream and subscribing as well. You can check us out on all three of our socials at NUFC Matters or Steve Wraith, at Invictus or at Ted the Mackham. And obviously check us out all on the different platforms. Lads, it's so good to see you. It's so good to be back next to you, in the middle of you. The Ted and Steve sandwich, as I like to call it. The mayo to your bread. Teddy boy over in Cyprus. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, matey. How are you doing? Nice to see you.
I'm good, mate. It's good to see you.
You have been a miss. Although the shows have been going remarkably well, and we remembered what our podcast's called, so it's not all been bad.
Really? Because I got a comment saying that I'm not watching without Rye on there, and that was from a Sunderland fan. I think his name, hang on, let me look at this. Bellingham, someone like that. Some sort of Bellingham in his name. Stevie, good morning to you.
Good morning, mate. Yes, it's nice to be doing Three's A Crowd rather than Two's Up, but here we are.
Thank you for putting up with Ted while I was away, mate. It was very, very brave of you. And
telling the community, mate, it's like, maybe it's getting unbearable, and believe you me, after yesterday's result, it's going to get even worse.
Mate. Isn't it? I mean, we're already getting the memes in our WhatsApp chat, but I tell you what a day. A London affair for both your teams yesterday. Middlesbrough hosted the Hollywood Heroes in Wrexham at the Riverside. We have got a lot to cover, but I think we need to start with it because it's shocked me. It's gone all through social media. It's shocked. I don't know if it shocked you, Steve, if you've seen this coming, but Sunderland knocking off Chelsea at home. Can you believe it? Sunderland are second in the Premier League. I've contacted everyone that I know in the Premier League and asked for drug testing. I've asked for steroid checks. I've asked for leniency. I think that the Premier League is being soft on Sunderland. I think VAR needs to be harsher. I think Brobby did something wrong in holding the ball up there. I'm not sure what it was, but I'm sure VAR could find something. Teddy boy, you're second in the Prem. You've knocked off Chelsea at home. You've gotten more points than any of the six teams in the past 2 years that have come up from the championship, mate. No team has ever been relegated when they've had 17 points at this stage of the season. I mean, tell me, Ted, you must be feeling, all Stanford.
Look at him. Mate, I'm first of all, I'm dreadfully hungover. Because I went and watched the game in a local boozer. A few Army lads. In fact, 2 seconds. I do need to give a shout out to two lads who sat with me yesterday and thoroughly enjoyed the match with us. Bruffy and Wilksy They're based at the base over behind me. One Stoke fan, one Forest fan. I was sat with Jacob, the Chelsea fan. So it was bearing in mind we work together as well, so it's probably a good job for him that I'm going to be off Monday and Tuesday. What an incredible performance yesterday. It was just absolutely one of the greatest performances I've seen from a Sunderland side. And do you know what? I wasn't even worried when they scored because we started that brightly and I thought we got at them a little bit. The one thing I'd say about Chelsea is among the back four, in their own defensive third of the pitch, they look liable to shoot themselves in the foot every single time, and their keeper is woeful, absolutely woeful. But even when we conceded that early goal, I didn't feel worried. I felt would settle into the game a little bit. Obviously, it's a little bit of a jink around with the defense because of all the. Bear in mind, our record signing and one of our key central defenders was out for that game. Let's just remember that as well. So we're not even playing with a full squad. Listen, the defensive side of our game was settled into it pretty well. We looked dangerous on the counter-attacks, the way that Regis has built that side to be. And even Jacob, the Chelsea fan, certainly in the second half, was turning to me and saying, there's just no way through. It literally, Chelsea were kind of getting the ball into their midfield and looking up, and even Isidore was there, like sort of in his own half, and just creating a fantastic defensive unit. Gertrude, his first start for the club, he's looked all right in terms of when he's come on as a substitute. I thought he was magnificent yesterday, and the ball he played through for Brobby was absolutely fantastic. It was a bit of a hopeful one, don't get me wrong, but and Brobby, I mean, he's apparently still holding up the M25. It's just absolutely what he did there was just. You've got to question a little bit of defending from Chelsea, but his hold-up play there was magnificent. Talby, coming off the bench and scoring his goal was unreal to see. Yeah, listen, I could talk about that performance all day, and I probably will. To be honest, it was just absolutely unbelievable. For a fat bloke of 46 years old to whip his shirt off and start throwing it around his head in the pub. When we scored the winner, it was listen, it was everything that you want as a Sunderland fan, and it felt like that's been such a long time in coming. It didn't feel like that was a team that's worried about relegation. There is a long way to go though. We're at 17 points now. Historically, 40 has always been enough to stay up. We've got a bit of work still to do though, and I'm under no illusion that the team will be very much keeping their feet on the ground. I don't think they'll be bothered about the league table at this stage. I'm enjoying it. Obviously, second in the Premier League, it's just it's absolutely unreal. Listen, I don't think the expectations changed. I've said it all along. I'll still take 17th now.
Yeah,
Listen, staying in that division is absolutely everything this season. I just feel like
it's incredible. I mean, we had Michael Carrick, ex-Middlesbrough manager, on Match of the Day yesterday, actually smiling for once. It's good. Well, good to see you smiling, Michael.
She recalling sick, did he?
Yeah.
He was at the match, mate. He was at the match.
Yeah.
I mean, he said anyone who's honest. I mean, Michael Carrick obviously was, he saw you guys firsthand last season. And he said, honestly, anyone who's honest enough to say that they never expected Sunderland to start this well, so full credit to them. The amount of points they've accumulated already is to giving them an unbelievable start, and that's something they've got to build on. They've looked quite comfortable and calm for long periods, but also looked dangerous. I can't believe they've had that many new players and gelled them together that quickly. That's got to be the sign of a good gaffer in Regis. I mean, that's some credit coming from Michael Carrick, who well and truly knows how long it does take. But I mean, you're talking about now knocking records left, right, and center for a team that's just recently been promoted. 17 points is your equal best start to the Premier League since 1999. I mean, you had I think it was 4 players yesterday that were involved in the end fixture last season in the championship. So you've completely revamped that team, and with only 4 that have continued into the EFL. Same manager, obviously, but I mean, Ted, it's incredible, and I think, and we were seeing this as well last season. There's a lot of people out there that keep saying, "Oh, it'll burst. They've got AFCON. They've got this coming. They've got that coming." And in the championship, I was saying it as well, and I was giving it to you when you were second and first and floating around the top half. I was like, "Nah, it'll be fine. Regis, he'll stuff it up somehow. Your owners will stuff it up. They'll give it to Michael Beale again or something like that." Do you know what I mean? But really, it at some point, credit where credit's due, mate. That he really is a top tier manager, and I think it's incredible what he has done with Sunderland in the space of 14 months, 15 months. I mean, let's not forget he left France I think he was relegated with his French team,
Lorient,
and he got the sack. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you've gone and picked him up, and it's just incredible. It's just incredible, and credit to you where it's true, mate. And honestly, what a game yesterday. One thing I wanted to talk about though with you is there seems to be a bit of a good team bond. I mean, it doesn't look like you've lost any sort of team bonding with all the new signings. Yesterday, when Brobby did hold the ball up, he looked a bit, I don't know, he'd held the belt up, and then he didn't run over to celebrate with Talby. He kind of just stood there, but Chris Rigg diverted. I don't know if you've seen the footage. Chris Rigg diverted to Brobby to give him a hug and to make sure that he knew that he was part of it, and that was what, the well done. And I think that was a bit class from such a young kid in Chris Rigg.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a real togetherness there, and they have brought that spirit from last season, and what's what's kind of been in effect with the recruitment is looking at the personalities of the people that they're bringing in, that they've got to fit in with that dressing room. There's not room for egos. We're a newly promoted Premier League side that's scrapping away to stay in that division. The league, as Steve will be very quick to point out this as well, the league isn't decided now after 9 games. All right, we'll find ourselves in second place, but we're going to be still in a scrap for the rest of the season. Make no bones about it. And you just can't afford to have egos around in that. And so I think everybody has that kind of, that togetherness about them. The recruiting players with the right kind of attitude, somebody with a bit of a point to prove. I was over the moon to see Brobby get involved with that as well, because he's had a quiet start to it. I think we're going to see a lot more from him as well, because he is an absolute unit. He really is. He's strong as an ox. And I just think maybe, he's maybe taking a little bit of time to settle in. And
I think Isidore as well, right? Isidore's form's kept him out. I mean, nobody expected Isidore to be to he's like a fish in water with the Premier League now as well.
Well, I mean, I said last season that he was one of those. He'll do better in the Premier League than what he would do in the Championship, because it's not as physical. The Championship, you are still getting kicked up a height by defenders there. But Isidore's been absolutely magnificent. It was a proper striker's goal yesterday as well. It was 2 yards out. It was a toe poke after a bit of ping pong in the penalty area. Listen, there's competition for places. There's a good vibe about it. But as you've alluded to, mate, in Regis Labrise, I think we've got a calm, methodical, very, very talented manager there. And to be honest, the biggest challenge we're going to have in the next couple of seasons is keeping him. Yeah, because there'll be a few teams now taking a look at that, going, we fancy ourselves a little bit of that.
I know. I completely agree. And that's the thing, isn't it? When you unless, I mean, the sky's the limit for him now, isn't it? And where he can go. You've seen the likes of, the young Bellingham off to Borussia, but I mean, Real Madrid and Barcelona and all that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'd be taking notice. Stevie, I mean, I'll come to you, mate. Now, I am well versed on Newcastle United because I've just sat down and watched Adam Richmond's. He does the football food show that is just airing here in Australia, and he's just done the Newcastle one. So I'm well versed of the food culture in Newcastle. But how's the nerve culture in Newcastle right now with Sunderland performing the way they are? We've got a game in about 5 weeks away. I think it is 6 weeks away still, where we see the first derby for a long time in the Premier League. Obviously, we've seen the one in the FA Cup, but the first time for a long time that we're going to see Sunderland v Newcastle. Are you worried at all?
No, we're not worried. Yeah. From our perspective, it makes the derby all the more exciting. You don't want a one-sided derby. And I've already been talking this morning at the gym about it to a few Newcastle fans, and it's something to look forward to. I'm already looking forward to December. It's going to be a game where, you're playing for North East pride and you're playing for 3 very valuable Premiership points. I'll make a prediction now, looking at the fixtures. I still think Newcastle will be above Sunderland by the time we come to the derby. I do feel that our form is starting to pick up, and I do think that, bearing in mind that we haven't had the opportunity to have Wissa on the pitch yet, I think Wissa is going to add to the new dimension that we've already discovered. But with regard to Sunderland, you've got to pay them the utmost respect. They've come into the division. They've spent a lot of money, and that could have gone either way, but it's gone the way that it did with Nottingham Forest. And at this moment in time, listening to what Ted said there, and listening to other Sunderland fans who I speak to, they are very clear that it doesn't finish on the 26th of October. They know, as does Labrise, know that his first target this season has to be 40 points. He said as much after the match last night. They're playing with confidence. They're playing with physicality. They're playing with tactical nous, but they're playing with confidence, and that's the thing you can't buy in the Premier League. That is something that only comes from good performances, and Sunderland at the moment are putting in week after week good performances. So the league table at the moment doesn't lie. Second place, 5 points clear of Newcastle. Bearing in mind Newcastle are 10th, I think, at the moment. It changed a little bit after the results that went after Newcastle's game yesterday. We were 12th after we finished, but we went up by a goal difference. But we're 5 points behind them, and we're not playing well. Yeah. But there is a change in Newcastle's style of play. when I look at the two teams at the moment and looking ahead to the derby, it's going to be won and lost in midfield, and it's who's got the best
100%.
it's who's got the best midfield, and is if Newcastle turn up at the Stadium of Light with Tonali, Joelinton, and Bruno all firing on all cylinders, with the likes of Lewis Miley and Jacob Ramsey in reserve, I think we'll just have too much for them. I really do. But what Sunderland have got on that day, as Newcastle will when the reverse fixture happens, is the venomous crowd, and they've got to take advantage of that opening 20 minutes down at the Stadium of Light when we play them in December. Because if they don't, and Newcastle can nullify the crowd and nullify their team, it's going to be a hard game for Sunderland, because Newcastle are very good at going away from home, keeping a clean sheet and nicking a win. So I think credit to Sunderland now. And you know, a lot of people have got their own impressions of me over the years. I guess when I was younger, I used to be part of that kind of brigade where we used to have a pop at Sunderland on social media when it was in its infancy. But I'm an older man now, and I've matured a lot. And I'm not afraid to say that Sunderland at the moment are deservedly second place in the Premier League, and well done to them. And I'm hoping, and I really do hope, and that's why we do this show, that this time next season we're saying Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Newcastle are all in the same division, because you know what? It will be great for the North East,
wouldn't it?
because you know, for us, we've waited a hell of a long time to all be back in the division together, and for me, that's what I want. I'd love to see it. Obviously, I want Newcastle to be ahead of the other two, and you know, but the great thing is that, like Man City, Man United, like Liverpool, Everton, like Arsenal and Spurs and Chelsea and all those teams, that rivalry pushes you on to be better. You know, you want to be better than the next team, and you want to be the top dog in your area. So that's what we've missed for years, and it would be great. But yeah, look, 100%. Congratulations to Sunderland at the moment. They are doing very well, but I do think, you know, it's such it can turn like that. I expected, and on my Super 6 yesterday, I took Newcastle to win 3-1. I took Sunderland to get beat 3-1. And how wrong was that? And I
keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
I sat and watched that. I sat and watched that match of the day highlights of Sunderland's game. They just don't look out of place in the Premier League.
No, they don't. Not at all. I mean, the signings you've made, and as I said, as a spectator of that derby, you know, which I hope you batter each other. I mean, Xhaka versus Bruno is going to be a battle of the ages between those two. I cannot wait for
honestly that midfield battle for that derby. It's going to be. I've said it before. It's going to be blood and snot. This one.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Chris
absolutely
Brigg as well
wild.
with his his Instagram posts.
That's if Riggy gets a game, because you've got who's he's like a mini Kante at the minute. Xhaka will not pull out of anything at all.
No,
and then you've got whoever else is. What's that? Sort of like an elephant up a tree. How it got there, I have no idea, but it's definitely coming down. What else did Tune On to us say? We always play better after Christmas. We're playing you 2 weeks before it.
Oh my goodness! It is honestly what a ride.
Times.
We will talk about
nobody yet.
We have got two other teams to talk about. We have, honestly, Sunderland are incredibly performing above all standards, and credit to them. We will talk more Sunderland. Let's quickly go on to Newcastle United taking on another London team in Fulham at St. James's Park, coming away 2-1 victors. An incredible goal by Murphy here, Steve. Mate, it was a fantastic game for Newcastle to... I mean, there was rumours about Tonali, obviously, in his sickness midweek. There's obviously the rumours on social media about Wissa and how long's the injury and all this sort of stuff. But I tell you what, to take Fulham at home, in a 2-1 victory, I think that's a solid win.
Yeah, we lost both games home and away last season to Fulham, so that was an important win, especially off the back of the win in the Champions League, and a big week coming up again. Newcastle are in Carabao Cup action on Wednesday against Spurs. A win in that game will see them into the quarterfinals again, and then obviously we're away to West Ham. Who won, performing well at all next week. So that would be good. If we could get another 2 wins, it would be great. But looking back at yesterday's performance, Malik Chow, for starters, was man of the match for me. He had a wonderful game. What a signing. Unbelievable, really, to think that nobody looked at Malik Chow other than Newcastle. Newcastle looked at him for quite a while before they signed him. So I look at him and I look at Mark Gahey at Crystal Palace, and I think we got a bargain at 35 million. I really do.
He's a good player.
Unbelievable. So he was man of the match. Again, I'm going to speak up for Lewis Miley. I thought he had a really good game. I know that one or two Newcastle fans who I seen last night after the match were, but Miley's a local lad. He's very like Sean Longstaff, and I think I've said on NUFC Matters this week that I genuinely feel with Miley that we if it was a toss-up between losing Anderson and Miley, I would rather have lost Anderson. And I know some people don't agree with me on that, but I think Miley will be a better player. I think Miley will be an England international as well, and I do think he will go on to have a really good career. It reminds me so much of Michael Carrick, young Michael Carrick, and he's definitely starting to do that, But you know what? From my perspective, that was a solid win. I thought that Newcastle, and I think it was picked up on Match of the Day last night as well by the pundits, who one of which was your ex-manager Michael Carrick. He said Newcastle are learning to play with Voldemort. They've really got they've really got the gist of how the guy plays. He holds the ball up. Isaac would have been running in the channels and looking for a chance. He holds the ball up. He is at the front of the pyramid, if you like, but then drops back off and lets the other midfielders and wingers come into play. And we saw that yesterday. Murphy, Gordon, Bruno, all having chances yesterday, getting through. And, it was positive. It really, really was. Murphy's goal, great. Should have done better with the second opportunity, mind. I mean, credit to the goalkeeper, who had an absolute nightmare, by the way. His distribution was terrible. But the way that he narrowed the angle for that second chance that Murphy had really did make it very, very difficult for Murphy to score yesterday. And of course, he didn't. Murphy hit the post, of course. Voldemort hit the post in that goal-mouth scramble. We could have been 3-0 up in the first half. Of course, then the jitters come in. Fulham managed to find a way past the rear guard, and it's 1-1. But Newcastle just kept going. And again, I think Eddie Howe got the substitutions right. He made the substitutions at the right time and brought the right people on. And it's the benefit of having a good squad. And Asula, and this Asula situation is so bizarre. He didn't leave the club because I think Frankfurt got put off by the social media. I think that was the story. Newcastle fans were posting, God, we've pulled their pants down, 30 million for this guy. I think Frankfurt came back in and said, well, we'll take him on loan, and Newcastle pulled the deal. And it's probably the best bit of business we've managed to do, because Sula is making a difference when he comes on. He's erratic, he's quick, he's fast, he's physical, and he's one of these players who really, really just defenders don't want to be facing in that last 10 minutes of the game, and he got his shot on target, which is all he can do. The keeper parried it and Bruno finished it. And a 2-1 win. I came out with the ball. I came out of the ground and went to the bar last night, and I said, you know what? That's the kind of game that you'll point to at the end of the season and go, that's why we're in Europe again next season, because that was a hard-earned win against a solid team on the road. And Marco Silva's side can probably feel a bit aggrieved that they haven't left St James's Park with a point. I think a draw probably would have been a fair result on the reflection of the second half. Newcastle dominated the first half. And I do think as well with Newcastle, there's the intensity that Newcastle have been playing in recent years, which is, the Liverpool game's a prime example. The 75 minutes of high intensity, but then that last 15 minutes have dropped off. I think half the problem with Newcastle at the moment is maybe it's because maybe Voldemort slows the game down a little bit, but Newcastle really tend to start off very quickly, 15 minutes of high intensity, and then it stops, and then we seem to lose a bit of shape. And I'm not sure if it's because Voldemort can't keep up that pace. He slows the game down with what he does. I don't know, but it's strange. But we're not playing such a high intensity game for as long this season, and that seems to be having an effect as well. And I'll tell you something else. Voldemort, Dave makes the point here. Diop and Bassi basically had Voldemort in a headlock for 90 minutes with no fouls given. This really is ridiculous. Since that Arsenal game where he got slapped and didn't go down, not one decision seems to go Voldemort's way, because he's 6'7" and because he doesn't react. So it's crazy. We're not getting fouls for fouls on Baltimore. That's ridiculous. But you know what? Massive result. delighted with it. And for me, I personally feel that is the biggest result we've had so far in the Premier League. And I think that'll help us move forward. Got to go to West Ham next week. Got to keep this run going. Got to beat Spurs midweek. And then we've got to go to West Ham next week and pick up 3 points. If we do that, everything's going to start to look a hell of a lot brighter. And bear in mind as well, Sunderland are sitting in second, but Newcastle are only 5 points off them.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? How quickly
the league at the moment is so tight.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think obviously it's a good time to be traveling to West Ham because those bubbles are stinky at the moment. My goodness me, they are bad at the moment. But we're going to get some fixtures, some talking points for the upcoming fixtures for Newcastle as well. But Middlesbrough fans, I don't want to scare you off. We have been talking a lot about Sunderland, Newcastle, Middlesbrough. We will talk about you in the next half, and we have got a lot more to talk about with Newcastle and Sunderland. But because we have discussed Sunderland, Newcastle, there is a good point that was raised in chat, and we have been talking about this in the WhatsApp. But I just wanted to talk to you, both of you, about that derby that is coming up. We have got 7 weeks to that derby, but there has been already talks about it being a bubble match. And if anyone doesn't know what a bubble match is, it's about protecting the supporters and keeping them inside a bubble while they travel to and from the stadium. And I wanted to talk to you, and I'll come to you, Steve, first, because obviously it's a Newcastle United potential to be traveling to the Stadium of Light in terms of where they're not going to bubble the supporters. I'm not sure if you'll be heading down to the Stadium of Light, but they are saying that they'll be letting Newcastle United fans choose their own way of getting to the Stadium of Light. Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that's something that they need to be looked at? I mean, from what I've seen previously, I mean, the derby that we covered a couple of years ago when it was in the FA Cup, I believe. I mean, that was well behaved. I mean, Sunderland even opened up a bar for you.
Yeah, I mean, we were hammered. I mean, dear God, if they got hammered on the pitch, we got hammered in the bar, the Magpie bar.
We're getting hammered this time and all.
The bubble match. I think Newcastle United. Listen, it's for the club. It's too early. They're not focused on the derby in October when it doesn't start. When it's not until December. But I wouldn't be surprised to hear that Newcastle United are going to organise their own buses and they'll give fans the option who are buying tickets to get on the buses or not. I think that's what they'll do. People won't have to go in transportation, but I think what they will do is they might suggest, look, the club are putting on official buses. If you'd like to come on, all you need to do is register and turn up on the day with your ticket for the game. I think that's what will happen. I'd be very surprised if they don't. And, the fact that it's a 2:00 kickoff in the afternoon means that, people can go and have a drink before the match. I mean, I know that sounds stupid because, let's face it, the Black Garter in Newcastle, prime example on a derby day, always used to open at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. We'd all pile in and then we'd jump on the Rattler down to Seaburn and walk through the streets down to the ground. That's the way it's always been. And to be honest, I enjoyed doing that because it's part of it. It's part of the atmosphere. I didn't, you run the gauntlet a little bit walking down the streets and the police would be like, have a cordon and, you'd have, some Sunderland fans. Yeah, obviously the banter between fans singing and songs, but you'd have people chucking bottles and glasses, and it was nerve-wracking going down there, but it was part of the derby. You did it as a young lad, and that I remember them days. But for me, I genuinely nowadays you don't want to do that. You're in your 50s. You just want to go to the match. You want to give them a bit of stick from the stands in your seat, but that's not what you don't want to be running the gauntlet. Not at my age. And that's where you're at now. So I think the club will offer the opportunity for people to go to the games on the official club bus. But can fans be trusted? Can fans come up and do what they, be trusted to do that? Well, they should be able to. Most fans will. But we all know there's a minority in every single football club up and down the country and across the world. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I would be very surprised, and I'm sure Ted will agree, I'll be very surprised if there isn't both ways, home and away for Sunderland and Newcastle, that there isn't some kind of service laid on by the clubs, for fans who just want to go and watch the game and come home.
Teddy boy, before we get to everyone's favourite cat, I mean, we have spoken about this in the WhatsApp. It was funny. It does look like Sunderland are of the opinion as well that they are going to keep fan safety first and obviously utmost. I know I've got to struggle to get that out, but we're talking 7 weeks away and we're already discussing it, which, and I think when we see it in social media and news articles like this, when it's 7 weeks away, you're already starting to turn up that dial a little bit for that minority to go, hang on, what's going on here sort of thing. So, I mean, do you think it's, is it something that Sunderland should be looking at?
I think both clubs, for me, should make it compulsory to travel on club coaches. and actually get there safely, because it's unfortunately we do live in a world where we have an idiotic minority. I mean, I grew up in a time when a village only had one idiot. Unfortunately, now they seem to have a few, but I would hope that it's actually compulsory, because look, I don't want anybody getting into bother. Like, it doesn't matter from which side. We had, what was it, about, was it 6,000 fans you brought to the FA Cup, Steve?
Yeah,
roughly around about that, and it went off with, like, what, I think it was about 4 or 5 arrests, and that was outside of the ground as well. If you want that, then don't change the recipe. It worked absolutely brilliant last time. It doesn't have to be as big a bubble this time. It's a Premier League game, so it'll be way less of a away allocation this time around. Much easier to police, much easier to manage as far as match day safety is concerned. And yeah, I mean, I agree with Jules. You should be able to go to watch a match, feel safe, and get home safely. And if this is the way to do it, then that is the way we should continue doing it. The same as what it was last time for the FA Cup game. I would love to think, and Steve, I'd take your point, mate, about, part of the crack of going to an away match is walking through the streets and, like, sort of that buzz, that little bit of nerves, and kind of being away on enemy ground and all that kind of thing. I totally agree with that. Unfortunately, the times have changed where somebody is likely to take it too far, and I think we need to minimise that risk. And I think club travel is the way forward with this one. It worked well last time. I don't see any reason to change it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see more on that. Obviously, 7 weeks still to go, but it is a big talking point, and we will cover that as we move on. Before we get into Middlesbrough, where there is a lot of news coming, and we've got to talk about Newcastle's upcoming Carabao Cup fixture, it is time for everyone's favourite Troll of the Week.
Start with a little bit of Star Wars, and you've all heard of R2-D2. We'll now meet P4L4. And it's a happy birthday to Arsene Wenger, 76 today.
Oh, spitting image. Look at that.
Aged well, I think. Frank Chipper was at it again this week. Newcastle United value Alexander Isak at 65 million this summer. Concerned his persistent injuries and declining form would continue. The club believed there was an administrative error when they began receiving bids well over 100 million for the player from Liverpool. And yes, people believed it. He's on a run at the moment.
Wow.
People believe this one as well. People are actually reporting this on the BBC network as if it was as if Newcastle had actually put that. It's not Newcastle United, for God's sake. And there's Arnie again. We've seen Sesko play the last 3, 4, 5 or 6 times, but when they go to Liverpool, they change the lineup. That's not the first time they've faced a team that's done that. So yes, this Arnie slot revealing that teams can change their starting 11. Yes, he wasn't very happy about that, was he? We want a refund. This guy's a fraud. Typical Geordies did this to us with Carroll as well.
Yeah, it's incredible, honestly.
And Harry Maguire scored at Anfield before £115 million Wirtz and £130 million Alexander Isak. Speaking of Harry Maguire, when I was bored in the game, I passed the ball to Isak and then took it back. And I do love it when you get welcomes like this. Of course, when Liverpool did play Manchester United,
yeah,
took that time to do that. You can see the mum now going, where's my bed sheets gone? Another stag do, another great costume for a Newcastle fan.
Oi.
Tail at the back.
The tail.
And last one on Alexander. Name a better striker than Alexander Isak. Matthew replied, everyone else in the Premier League. It's not just been turmoil at Liverpool, there's also been turmoil at Nottingham Forest. Just to give you an idea of what's been going on there on a regular basis, Nottingham Forest manager Saka Tracker appointed, lose 3 on the bounce, dressing room unrest, Dyche mentioned, has board's full confidence, sacked. And it's all down to this guy. The players don't have the energy to win because the club owner eats all their breakfasts and lunches. He should be running a restaurant, not a football club. Quote, Ange Postecoglou. Speaking of Ange, Bill Edgar says that when Ange Postecoglou flies back from London to Melbourne, he could watch every minute of his 8 games as Forest manager on his laptop and still have time left to take in 3 Crocodile Dundee films before landing. And we've not won a league game at Ibrox for 5 months. Ange has won the Europa League and has been sacked from 2 jobs in that time.
Oh. It's incredible, isn't it?
We do like a bit of Sunday League on here. We saw the one last week of the cigarette packet down the back of the guy's socks. Well, here is VAR on a Sunday morning.
Yep.
And what do you get if you're man of the match in Iceland? That's right, 75 kilos of potatoes.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that.
Well done.
Fair play to Asula as well. I had a part to play yesterday in Newcastle's win, but he did take pity on a student who he sent 200 quid to.
Hey.
On his WhatsApp there this week. So thank you to that. A Nigerian brother. Help your Nigerian brother. The guy asked him for 100 quid. He sent him 200. So well done to him.
Look at that.
I'm sick of sports commentators saying you couldn't write a script like this. If people can write scripts about dystopian futures in which life is in fact a simulation made by sentient machines to harness humans, heat and electricity as an energy source, they could probably write ones about Gary Taylor-Fletcher scoring a last-minute equaliser against Stoke. Joey, email.
That's biz. That's got to be biz.
It's very good, isn't it? Very good. Did enjoy meeting these Benfica fans this week who know their football. And there we go. I can confirm that there are no Mackhams at the real Stadium of Light. And when you're getting married at 12:30, but the match has just started.
Priorities.
Yep.
And the Rangers managerial search has made the search for Madeleine McCann look very organised. And you should never put these out on social media, should you? Ask Jamie O'Hara.
No.
If you were in a burning building and I ran in with no questions, would you be surprised in my choices to save between you and a lava lamp? I would see more value in saving the lamp, says Simpson. Mark says, Jamie, how many times have you seen the video of your ex with Pringles up her old tired old clacker? Hashtag, once you pop, you just can't stop. Super 7 says, what is bigger disappointment for an individual, being a failed football player or a failed pundit? Brilliant.
Tired old clacker.
I know. Erling Haaland loves social media. Why do you smoke, Erling? What do you smoke, Erling, says JJ Demena. Erling replied, goals. Excellent. I see Sam Fender winning the Mercury Prize went down on your message board. What a surprise. The little tramp wins the award when it's held in Newcastle. And Kant says, what if Shearer turned up one week with a full head of hair and refused to admit he used to be bald? Is there a plan in place for this? Some people have got too much time on social media. And this is when you realise that Roy Keane is slowly turning into Billy Connolly. Crap football tattoos. Unfortunately for this Scouser, you'll never walk alone.
Oh, God.
Awful. And somebody taking...
Hang on, Steve. That's not the weirdest thing in that picture.
It's not, no. I will not see anymore.
What in the chicken fillet is going on there?
Yeah, he's had a few pies, I think, the kid. Next up, you've taken advantage from one of the protests. I think this is a Blackpool fan, isn't it? Just Stop Ollie.
Wow.
Very clever. Very clever. The hardest dog on the block this week is this guy.
Oh, yeah, it's got to
ready
kick
to
off
go.
in the bets.
Got to be ready to go.
Get the badge in, lad.
Always ready.
And Billingham Town got some great comments on Twitter this week with this. Billingham Town would like to thank both sets of supporters for their attendance today. Due to competition rules, season tickets were not valid and gate receipts are split. We're therefore proud to report an official attendance of 12. And honestly, the comments on that on Twitter, give it a read, and Facebook, they were absolutely priceless. Absolutely priceless.
It was so good.
I love this.
Final there.
I love this. MD as well was away to Germany, and he says proper old school away, and all fans mixed in the concourse, fags the size of queues, sparked up all over the gaff, the whole ground on the beer in seat, Police sitting in swarms, chatting and laughing, held back for 15 minutes with full access to toilets and bar. All Euros should be like this. Nice to see that some trips abroad are still as enjoyable as they always used to be. And Joe said, imagine signing a player called Mambo and not giving him the number 5.
That's true. Yeah.
And we started with Liverpool. We'll finish with Liverpool. This came out before the match yesterday, an official club statement. Liverpool Football Club can confirm that Brenton Football Club, as of 8 o'clock this evening, failed to provide us with their starting 11, tactical setup and low block documentation ahead of tomorrow's Premier League fixture. Despite repeated reminders and a polite follow-up email, urgent, no dossiers, heat maps or PowerPoint presentations have been received by this great institution. Manager Arnie Slot is shocked to discover that yet another opponent has chosen to alter their approach when facing Liverpool Football Club. Such behaviour falls below the expected standards of fairness, transparency and letting us dominate possession unchallenged. We remind all opposition managers that it's customary to submit long ball patterns, defensive shape and time-wasting schedule at least 24 hours in advance. We expect better. Hasta la vista, low blocks. Arnie the Terminator Slot. It's great, isn't it, seeing Liverpool suffer? Thank you for all of them. You can send them by email to me, nufcmatters1892@gmail.com, or contact any of us on social media, and we will get them on the show next week.
Oh, they are always gold. Thank you so much. Welcome on back to the Three's a Crowd, the Northeast Football Podcast, where we talk Middlesbrough, Newcastle and Sunderland every weekend right here. You can follow us at NUFC Matters, at Invictus, or at Teddy the Mackham for your favourite club and your favourite banter as well. We have talked a lot about, in the first half of the show, Sunderland's absolutely incredible rise, second in the Premier League. Newcastle's great win against Fulham yesterday. It's time for the Borough. I know you've been waiting patiently, and I know a lot of you might be ready to go to bed, but wake up because the Borough are back, baby. Middlesbrough have had a fantastic couple of weeks, obviously, after coming international break. We'll kick it off with the new club crest, lads, has been announced. Middlesbrough have gone and redesigned their logo. I've sent it to you in the WhatsApp, but we have got the new club crest coming out as of next year. Next year, we celebrate 150 years as a football club, and we have designed our new club crest. We'll have a new special one, for the release of next year for 150 years, followed by a new circular one following that. The next one season, lads, looks really clean. It's like got a gold trim in that. It just looks really nice. So it's going to be a massive year, 150 years for the Borough as of next year. Castore have got a massive job to make the kits match the badge that looks that good. A lot of little historic notes about that badge as well, which I absolutely love. Middlesbrough had a fantastic game against Wrexham yesterday. It was the first 45 minutes. I say fantastic. It was absolutely drops. It was the first 45 minutes was sitting down watching a Ryan Reynolds movie going, hang on, I was here for Deadpool and they put Green Lantern on sort of thing. It was absolutely terrible. And we, at halftime, there it is. Have a look at the badge. Get that into, oh my God. Right? Look at it. Oh,
he's put a bit of weight on, hasn't he? The old...
Lenny the Lion.
Hey, a couple of Parmos will do that to you, mate. All right, a couple of Parmos will do that to you, but it looks class. There's a lot of.
Looks like the one opposite of us.
Put him up! Put him up!
What's he got in his mouth?
He's roaring. He's angry.
All right, okay.
Yeah, he's an angry man. He's a roaring lion.
Smog on his breath.
It's the garlic coming off the Parmo. So what, lads? We've got a terrible 45 minutes in the first half against Wrexham yesterday. To be seen 4 changes at halftime. Rob Edwards, my gaffer, said enough's enough. I think he's thrown the iron, gotten the curling iron out, lobbed a boot at David Beckham, even though he wasn't there. And he's gone and made 4 changes at halftime. And Middlesbrough came out with a revamped look in that second half. And my God, was it a perfect 45 minutes. Middlesbrough were able to claw one back through Hayden Hackney. And then, just as we were counting, and I need to get your thoughts on this, lads, just as we were countering, we got 15 minutes left. We've worked our socks off to get back into the game. We're now pushing for the winner, which we were clearly going for, right? We get a breakaway down the right. Ada Morris gets onto it. And lo and behold, Streaker onto the pitch in his full kit, gets on the pitch and stops the play just as we're breaking away down the right. I mean, it was the most frustrating thing, lads, I have ever seen, because we were on a breakaway down the right-hand side and the ball has to be brought back all the way to the start of when he entered the pitch, and it was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. It hasn't been confirmed. There are rumours that he was a Wrexham fan standing in the home end, which was incredible, and that he got himself onto the pitch, and he made a nuisance of himself. It took him about 5 minutes or so to get him off. But I tell you what, lads, it's been a long time since I've seen one. Teddy, the last streaker, I don't know, at the Stadium of Light. Have you seen any? I mean, it might have been you, good sir. But I mean, I said this in a tweet to all my followers as well. I'll be the first to admit that as soon as I get back to the Riverside, I will be butt naked in the middle of that pitch, and you won't get me off, right? Because I just loved it. I'll be so.
I don't think anybody wants to get you off, mate.
Right? Don't you worry. You know what I mean? I'll be, but not when we're on a comeback, 85 minutes, right? And you come in and I mean, it was what a bell end.
I've never actually seen one, to be fair. I mean, obviously, with nearest we got to it was yesterday. It was me with me top off in a pub, but
yes,
nobody wants to see that ever. To be honest with you, yes, streakers. Well, like it was a thing for a while. It was probably too cold in the northeast, to be honest. So whoever it was, I hope was it male or female?
It was a male. It was a male. We believe he's a Wrexham fan. I'll send you a photo in the WhatsApp.
Hey, all right.
It was a young lad, big moustache, but Stevie lad, honestly, the frustrating thing for Boro fans was that we were on a breakaway. We had a bit of a counter attack down the right, and we were really actually pushing quite fast down this right hand side, only for it to be called back. I mean, last time you've seen a streaker enter this, St. James Park?
I think we've had one or two. I think we have, but it's the memory of streakers is few and far between at St. James's Park. We've had a lot of people running on the pitch and chucking shirts at managers over here. But we've never, I'm sure we've had one, but actually pinpointing the date, I'll be very, very surprised. I mean, the infamous one, of course, was the rugby, wasn't it? Erica Rowe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember her running on. I think everybody, she's got a bit of a career out of it. She's probably the most famous. And there was also, it was a man as well, I think, who did Twickenham. So rugby seems to attract them more. But yeah, I didn't even know about it. So that just shows you. It's a bit of a daft thing to do, invade the pitch in any shape or form, isn't it? Because let's face it, nowadays you're just going to get banned from the ground. We've seen some interesting ones over the years where there was that guy who used to get onto team photographs.
Yes,
a Man United fan.
Yes,
he used to get on in full kit, didn't he?
Yeah,
and he's part of some infamous photographs. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, no, and it was shocking, and I hope that man gets a lifetime ban. I think he will, not only just from the Riverside as well, but. What it did mean, lads, was we would have to share the points with the Hollywood Heroes in Wrexham. I spoke to Ryan Reynolds after the game. We were close friends now. He's a big fan of the podcast, as you guys should be. And he said it was a tough old affair. It was an incredible Middlesbrough way again of lads of not, finding a way not to lose when we've played poorly for at least 45 minutes. And we remain second, 4 points now behind Coventry, who are blowing teams away in the championship. Coventry under Frank Lampard, for those that don't know, top of the championship. They are 29 points, 4 points away from Boro in second. And we have got Millwall right up our clackers on 23 points as well. So it's a tough old affair in the championship, lads. But I tell you what, Robbie Edwards has got this team playing very, very, very well. And it was good to see Michael Carrick back on Match of the Day yesterday. But I tell you what, Middlesbrough fans have quickly forgotten all things Michael Carrick, because Rob Edwards is a sexy man, and he's a sexy tactician as well, making 4 subs at halftime after a shocking affair. Middlesbrough have got a week off now. We will have a bit of a break before our game next Saturday at Watford. Who is this?
Erica Rowe now.
Oh, Erica Rowe. Is that her now? Wow.
There we go. Nige remembers it.
Nige is onto it.
Yeah. She does make a couple of good points.
We'll get her on the pod next week. Obviously, Middlesbrough have got a break. We've got Vicarage Road next week against Watford, and Middlesbrough will be looking to tie some more points up. There were 7 points in the first week of 3 games. Beating Ipswich Town as well last weekend was fantastic. A couple of questions here from the chat as well. One asking about Matty Targett. Matty Targett was one of those men that was subbed at 45 minutes yesterday. Didn't start well. There was a bit of a sloppy performance from not only just him, but a lot of the Middlesbrough boys. And as I said, 4 changes made at halftime. Matty Targett was one of them. Sammy Silvera replacing him. But Matty Targett, funny enough, is the most chances created. But I tell you what, the man who has impressed all of us crazily is the man comes from the club that's impressed everyone. It's Alan Brown. Alan Brown has been absolutely incredible. He has been a workhorse up and down the pitch. He's creating, he's moving it forward. Aidan Morris has liked to go backwards. Well, Alan Brown gets it and turns it around and makes it go forward. It's an incredible performance from Alan Brown. He got man of the match against Sheffield Wednesday just before they entered administration. I argue that he changed the game again when he came on at halftime yesterday as well. I think Alan Brown needs to be starting most games as well. Matty Targett as well, I think he's our most chances created. I believe he's creating the most chances from left back, which is an incredible tip of the hat to Matty Targett as well. So it's thankful to Newcastle and Sunderland. Middlesbrough have got Alan Brown and Matty Targett both performing very, very well as we try to find a way back to the Premier League. Early days, but being second in the championship, lads, at this stage of the season is very, very good. Teddy, I'm going to come to you first. First, mate, the new badge, 150 years of this beautiful football club, a club that you're a fan of, but you don't like to say it out loud. Middlesbrough, obviously second in the championship, mate. It's the same points, same position that Sunderland were at this stage of last season. Funny enough, there you go. But I tell you what, Alan Brown, mate, he has been a godsend.
Yeah, he's a quality player. He was in and out of the side a little bit. He never really got a good run with us last season.
Broke his leg as well, right?
Yeah, he had a bit of a torrid time with that as well. Like, to be fair to him, he's one of them who's just a very, very good championship standard player, and you start to see the best out of him. He performed like that for Preston, and Preston fans will tell you that you get really solid, kind of dependable performances from him. He's one of them who it would be a real rare one for him to have a stinker of a game. Let's put it that way. So he's exactly what you need right now, mate. You need somebody with a bit of experience who can come in and deliver those like sort of 7 out of 10 performances every single week. And he's going to give you that, mate. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Your new badge,
it's funny enough because what was funny to me, lads, was that we were told, I don't know if you guys remember this, on a previous show we used to do, that the circular badge could never come back. Well, guess what came back? The circular badge.
Circular badge.
Yeah, quicker than his wife did.
It was an incredible, because I actually thought that was dead and buried, but apparently we were allowed to bring it back. So it's a nod to the old days of Middlesbrough. Steve, second in the championship, early days. Second, like Sunderland, like we were talking about them in the Premier League. It is still early days, long way to go, mate. But Matty Targett, mate, has been playing fantastically left back and slotting into that centre back role. Obviously, Newcastle United could have done with him after the injuries that you've suffered, but Matty Targett allowed to remain on loan till at least January, and Middlesbrough sitting second in the championship, right where we'd want to be.
Yeah, look, Coventry look as if they're going all guns to get it done before Christmas. Another wonderful win for them. But yeah, look, Middlesbrough keeping that gap between them and the third place team, and that's what they've just got to focus. They've got to stay on the tails. Got to stay on the what's he trying to show? We can't see. Oh, there it is.
What about that?
Dear me, out.
Some big nights, that one. I like that.
Yeah, brilliant. Matt Targett, he is a good player. He'll bounce back from that. Everyone has an off day, and I think he'd be fine. But our fullback situation is looking better now, where Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall both on track to be back, along with Wissa, just after the international break in November. So it's all looking a bit more positive for us, mate.
It is interesting to see how well all three of our teams are doing with injuries this season after a couple of torrid seasons. I remember Newcastle and Middlesbrough sharing a torrid run. Teddy Boy last season as well, you had a few substantial injuries and were still able to be promoted, but it looks like we've been able to sort that out. Let's get into the only game that we're going to miss between the now and the next podcast. It is Newcastle United at home to Tottenham in the Carabao Cup, taking on Spurs in what will be another massive win for Newcastle if they can get to another Carabao Cup final to defend the trophy that they won last season. It'll be an incredible moment, an incredible game. And it's at home as well, Steve. An incredible game. I want to get your thoughts on this game, mate, and give us a prediction while you're out.
Yeah, this is for a place in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals, and it's at home. So from our perspective, we look at this and think this should really be an opportunity to get into the quarterfinals again, third year in a row. It's against a team which is in transition with a new manager, but who got off to a decent start of the season. Certainly a lot better than under that previous manager. It's 8 o'clock kickoff. It's live on ITV1, Sky Sports. It's under the lights, and Newcastle will obviously be well up for this, I'm sure, after back-to-back wins. Spurs are going to have the usual 25% support with them, so there's going to be 4,900 fans there, which is great, which for the atmosphere, if nothing else. And from our perspective, it's a great opportunity. It really, really is. The extra day's rest that we have as well could bode well, could be beneficial for us. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. And
expecting many changes.
Yeah, I think Eddie's got the squad to do that now. Yep. I think we'll see Ramsdale come in for Pope. I think the Carabao Cup is for him. I think Asula could start, and I think we'll see the return of Tonali. I think Tonali will. I think Miley may find himself on the bench for this one. Yep. I think you'll find that Tonali will come back in. I think that Joe Linton may be rested, and I think you may bring Ramsey in. And I think you could be looking at 3 changes, but I definitely think Ramsdale will get the run out in goal, and I think that Newcastle will progress to the next round into the quarterfinals again. This is the 4th time that the two sides have been paired together in the League Cup. Newcastle won the 75-76 semi-final on aggregate. Of course, they were beaten 1-0 in North London, but then won 3-1 on Tyneside. We lost the next meeting 2-1 at St James's in 2008. Before going down 4-0 at White Hart Lane in the most recent game, which was December 2014. Thomas Frank, incidentally, has beaten Newcastle in this competition before guiding Brentford to a 1-0 home win in 2021. So there's a little bit of stats there for this competition. Yeah. But for me, I'm looking for Newcastle to win this game. I think Newcastle will win comfortably. I'm going to go for a few goals as well. I'm going to go for Newcastle United 3, Spurs 1.
Oof. Teddy boy, a prediction from you, mate. Obviously, Carabao Cup, looking to retain the cup after the fantastic win last season. They have Tottenham at home, who under Thomas Frank are performing a lot better in the league, but also in the cups. Yeah,
but they don't travel well at all to St James's Park. It's just absolutely. They are awful. They seem to go to pieces there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe with it being a cup game, a slightly different approach to it. But I've got to agree with Steve. And to be honest, we want Newcastle to stay in every competition they've got going, to tire them out for those 2 derbies that's coming up. Yep. And I'm even willing to see them win another trophy if that means just wears them out a little bit. Absolutely fine. Bring it on. I actually agree with Steve, and that's the scoreline I'd picked out before we started talking about it. I think the Geordies will win 3-1.
Yep, I'm going for a 2-0 victory to Newcastle. I think that'll be too much, especially at home. I saw that performance yesterday, and I just love Newcastle's squad depth at the moment. I think it's incredible. With Asula, I'd like to see Asula start and get that chance. I think he's great. I think he's got a bright future in what was going to be a transfer.
Like a young Danny Welbeck, isn't he?
Scored again, yes. Scored again.
Danny Welbeck, we know. Hey, you cheeky bugger. But no, honestly, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. If you are going to St James's Park, enjoy your midweek adventure. Middlesbrough obviously won't be playing till next weekend. I do believe Sunderland have Everton next, but that's not till next week as well.
Monday night football. Yeah, Monday night football for us.
A bit of a break. We'll cover that in the next week's pod. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is all we have got time for on Three's a Crowd. I am back. I do apologise for missing the past 2 weeks, but I am back.
He's not sorry. He's not sorry.
To split these 2 lads up. I know you need the youth on this show, and that's what I provide. I know you need the good looks, and that's what Ted provides. And I know you need the smarts, and that's what Steve, that's what he, provides. So all together, Three's a Crowd together, we actually make quite a good trio, lads. And I think you've missed me. And I know you won't say it out loud, but I know you have.
We are.
Make sure you subscribing and make sure you follow each of the lads on NUFC Matters at Ted the Macklemore at Invictus. We will be back this time next week or on the Saturday. We'll work it out in the WhatsApp and we'll let you know.
Definitely Saturday because I'm at West Ham next Sunday.
There you go. So it'll be definitely Saturday next week. Have a safe week. Have a safe trip. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's bye from now from Three's a Crowd, the Northeast Football Pod.
Three's a Crowd podcast will return. That's not a threat. It's a promise.